Hi, Turner here with a lesson on solving two-step inequalities. Our learning target for today is to solve a two-step inequality.
Make sure you've added I3, solving two-step inequalities, to your table of contents. Inequalities can be solved by following the same steps as equations. To do so, the variable must be alone or isolated on one side of the inequality. Isolate the variable by using inverse or opposite operations. Whatever you do to one side, you must do to the other. Now, just like with one-step equations, there's a really important exception. When you multiply or divide by a negative number, the inequality sign is flipped. So let's get right into it here. The instructions for these 6 problems are to solve each inequality and graph the solution. Problem number 1, I have 10 plus 3x is less than or equal to 22. Again, I'm going to make sure that I realize that there are 2 sides to this inequality and to keep things balanced on both sides. First off, I'm going to subtract 10 from both sides. 10 take away 10 is 0, and I'm going to bring down the 3x. 22 take away 10 is 12. Now I'm going to divide both sides by a positive 3. I am still going to keep my less than or equal because dividing by a positive requires no flipping, and x is less than or equal to 4. So I'm going to put a closed-in dot on 4, right in the number 4, and this is going to be going to the left, the same direction as the arrow. Going on to number 2. In problem 2, my variable is on the right. So eventually we are going to have to reverse it because it is so much easier to graph with the variable on the left. But let's tackle it from the beginning. So here is where my inequality sign is. Keep both sides balanced. I have a negative 5 or subtract 5, so I need to add 5 to both sides. 19 and 5 is 24, greater than negative 4p, which I'm going to bring down. Negative 5 plus 5 goes away. I'm going to need to divide both sides by a negative 4, and as soon as I do that, I need to reverse that inequality symbol. I'm going to divide by a negative 4, and I get negative 6 is less than p. But as we've said, it is very difficult to graph this in this manner. So if you look at this inequality, it is pointing to the negative 6. So I am going to rewrite it with my p on the left, my negative 6 on the right, and I'm going to write my inequality so it is still pointing to negative 6. Now negative 6 is over here, and we have p is greater than negative 6. So that is going to the right. Okay, so that was a double. I had to reverse the inequality symbol, flip the sign when I was dividing by the negative, and then I rewrote it so that p was on the left. All right, let's try number 3. For number 3, we are going to make sure that we are keeping both sides equivalent. Our first step is to subtract 7.5 from each side. Don't let the decimal freak you out. Get a calculator if you need to. You're going to bring down 2x. This is going to go to 0, greater than or equal to negative 9. The opposite of multiplying is dividing. I'm going to divide both sides by a positive 2. I am not flipping my sign. 2 divided by 2 is 1, so I have x on the left and negative 4.5 on the right. Now, remember, you do not have to flip a sign. If the answer is negative, only if the action, the operation, was dividing by a negative. And we were dividing by a 2, so we are good to go there. Number 4, again, on number 4, it looks like my variable starts out on the right, so be prepared that we are going to have to rewrite at the end, but we start out the same. And in this one, we are going to add 32 to both sides. Now, negative 12 plus 32 is going to be positive 20. I'm still at less than or equal to negative 5w. The opposite of multiplying by negative 5 is dividing by negative 5. And there, as soon as I divide by that negative, I am going to take that less than or equal and make it a greater than or equal, because I need to do that to both sides. Now, on the left, I have negative 4 is greater than or equal to w. Notice that when I am looking at this, the point is heading towards the w. So when I reverse my w and my negative 4 to make it easier to graph, I still need that I still need that point pointing towards the w. Now you have w is less than or equal to negative 4. And I'm going to make that going this direction. All right, we are almost done. We are undoing division in these next problems. I'm going to, again, keep them separated. The opposite of adding 3 is subtracting 3. X divided by 2 is less than 3, because 6 take away 3 is 3. The opposite of dividing is multiplying both sides by 2. It is a positive 2, so you do not need to reverse any signs. And you have x is less than 6. That is an open going to the left at 6. Last but not least, we have x divided by negative 4 plus 7 is less than or equal to 3. As soon as I say those words, divided by negative 4, I know I'm going to have to flip the sign at some point, but not right now because I am just subtracting 7 from both sides. I'm going to bring down my x divided by negative 4. 7 minus 7 goes away, less than or equal to negative 4. Now remember, the opposite of dividing is multiplying. So I'm going to multiply both sides by that negative 4. And as soon as I do that, I must flip my sign. So what was less than or equal to is now greater than or equal to. My 4's cancel each other out, and I get x is greater than or equal to 16. And that is how you solve a two-step inequality.
Take a moment. Reflect on how you are feeling about solving two-step inequalities. If you are feeling confident, go ahead and start the practice. But if you need to rewatch the video, please do so. Call over an adult to get some help, or talk it over with a friend. However you decide to proceed, now is a great time to do some math.